エンゼルスからフリーエージェントとなった大谷翔平が結ぶ新契約の相場が高騰の気配を見せています。史上初の総額5億ドル、約757億6300万円超えが噂されてきましたが、ここに来て6億ドル、約909億1500万円まで高騰すると見る報道も米国で現れています。そんな中、大谷マニアとして知られる米専門局、FOX スポーツのアナリスト、ベン・バーランダー氏が自身のポッドキャスト番組に、ヤンキースのレジェンド、バーニー・ウィリアムスがゲスト出演し、フリーエージェントになった大谷に、
移籍先を選ぶ上で一番重要なのはお金じゃない。
とし、アドバイスを送っていましたので、日本語字幕付きでご紹介していきます。
Bernie, we might now in the game have the biggest free agent of all time and Shohei Ohtani. And if you were in his shoes, a guy that's been with the Angels his entire career, not on a winning team his entire career, finally, as of a couple days ago, hits free agency. If you're in his shoes, what are you prioritizing heading into free agency where you could be making $500 million?
Well, I think when you utilize money in that way, it becomes more than a commodity. It becomes, what you're using as your kind of like lever, your threshold, your I guess indication that you're some of the best players in the world because you are commanding that salary. And to be quite honest, there's amount of money that you need to live. And then over that, it is what it is. So once you reach that level, which is for whatever reason, it's different for every player, then you're not using money as a way to securing your future. You're using money as a lever to just kind of like get your worth out there. It becomes a competition. So you figure, I think all these guys that are doing, these going through this process, whatever they end up going for and whatever they end up getting is they're going to be set up for life. So that's not a question of, how much money am I going to get? The question is, am I in the competition to be the best paid player?
Yeah.
And that's a completely different conversation because, it kind of has a repercussion on the rest of your career. And the opportunities that you're going to have after that. So I think, he has to think long and hard because even though money is really important, the conditions on which you're working, the opportunity that you may have later in your career or in your career while you're signing to get to the opportunity to go to the playoffs and get a World Series ring, all of those factors come into play. So if you're Ohtani, he probably any team will be lucky to have him. So he needs to have an assessment of what are the teams that are available, willing enough to pay his salary, that are going to give him the best opportunity to be a successful player in the league. Meaning not the money, but just the opportunity to play and be actually make his mark in the game and make maybe just get to the World Series, a couple of times.
Bernie, putting you on the spot here. Where does your gut tell you that he's going to sign, and where do you want him to sign?
Yankees. I'm completely biased, unimportant answer to this question, but I have no way of determining, what his thing is. I mean, he's coming from, the East. He might have a great community of followers, maybe in the West Coast. Going to maybe a team, maybe staying in California, maybe going to Seattle, like maybe following the footsteps of, what Ichiro did in Seattle. Maybe going to, maybe Vegas may give him an opportunity because, he's over there. But I think at this point, he has sort of reached a level that any team will be lucky enough. If they can afford him, they're going to make sure that he is well taken care of. And I think he can basically forge his future. I think at that point, it's just going to be a part of the conversation is going to be what team is going to give me the opportunity to win a World Series.
これからも大谷の活躍から目が離せません。皆様からのコメントもお待ちしております。